You know, the biggest issue with business owners is they don't actually understand how to create that value. So they create whatever value they're building. They look at their business in reverse, where it's at right now, where it started. Oh my gosh, I'm finally here.
When you started talking about what you did with your company, when you put all those companies together,
Yeah.
and then you sold it for a multiple,
Yeah.
the greater than really what the market
Yeah, much greater.
would typically allow for.
That's right.
So I'm like, I wonder how many companies I know like that. And you and I formed a partnership, and within how many months? 8 months?
Yeah.
We brought a company into Cardone Ventures. Can I talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely.
They did 440 last year, 440 million in sales, in revenue.
As the whole group.
It's a group.
Yeah.
So what do you think we take that to? With our influence, our marketing know-how?
So we've done all the analysis, and it's an emerging market. So I think it's a multi-billion-dollar over the next 60 months. I think it's a multi-billion-dollar deal, of which our piece of that will be, $200-300 million.
What percentage do we get?
We get 25% of the upside.
Okay, so that's the plan. So how does the group feel about, because I could see some people saying, hey, that's a little predator, but they don't see it like that.
No, because they're never going to actualize or realize that. They don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
They don't even have
Because
the strategy.
they're thinking the same way I'm thinking on the beach over there. Hey, if I can put all this together, it becomes more valuable.
They don't think that way. They think like...
They think about, I'm operating my little company.
They think I'm operating my business and I hope it keeps growing.
Right.
The biggest issue with business owners is they don't actually understand how to create that value. So they create whatever value they're building. They look at their business in reverse, where it's at right now, where it started. Oh my gosh, I'm finally here.
Yeah,
We're looking at the
yeah.
business of where it could be in 10 years to absolute
Right,
maximize value. And then we're putting the pieces in place to make sure that value is captured. Well, they're getting that value versus them going to private equity to grow, and then they take
Why would they go to private equity?
if they need capital to grow.
Yeah. So let's say the ideal company's what, a couple $1 million of revenue?
5 to 10. Actually, for us, an ideal perfect business would be 10 million in revenue. But we'll take businesses as partners down to 5. Because
we would look at somebody doing 2 with a lot of potential and say, hey, let's get you to 5.
And
then we do a deal.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Here's the thing.
So for them to go from 2 to 5, they're going to have to pay somebody anyway. They're going to have to hire probably a CEO that they don't have. That's going to cost, what's a CEO cost?
At
600?
2.5 million, they're going to try to figure it out to themselves until they get to 5 and realize they everything's breaking. Then they got to go hire an executive.
Everything's what?
Breaking.
Yeah,
under the weight of the growth, because they don't know how to manage it. They're
right.
losing
So they
their
could
good
bleed.
people.
They could actually make less money on 5 million.
Almost
than on 2
always
million.
they do.
Yeah.
When they go from 2.5, where they're doing everything, to 5 to 7 to 10, somewhere they got to start.
That's why a
hiring
guy says, "Hey, bigger's not better."
Because
Because he goes from 2 to 7, he's like, "There's no money there."
That's right. And the fact is, instead of acknowledging they didn't do it right, or they didn't hire the right people, or they didn't understand how to do it, they blame the opportunity. For you and I to take, here's the thing, the big play.
I was hung out at $3 million for 20 years.
That's right.
And I had to 2008 is what, if it wasn't for 2008, I wouldn't have given up on the 3 million. Because I was like, I hated it so much, but I was like imprisoned, a prisoner to it. And then when the economy crashed, I'm like, oh my God, man, this doesn't work. I'm susceptible to problems at every juncture. And then when I came out of that thing, I just went crazy because I was scared. So I started figuring out other spaces to be in. It was the first time I actually moved into this whole kind of 10X. The leverage you're talking about being in these other companies. So when you said that down at Cabo, I was like, oh man, if we could do this.
Well, most business owners that find that kind of success have a scenario like what you went through, and that scenario either breaks them or it makes them. And you and I can eliminate the need for that catastrophic scenario. That's what we bring to that equation. There's trillions of dollars that are looking for homes.
Yeah.
How you and I are going to get super, super rich, we're going to make our partners, the people that join us and trust us, super rich because we're going to give them access to capital they will otherwise never have access to.
So let's say they're doing 10 million.
Yep.
We take a company from 10 million to
100.
90 million new money. How much do we make off of the 90 million?
We're going to make 25% of the value difference.
Oh, okay. The value
Difference.
because we're going to exit or
Say
because
they're
of the
worth-
income of the company?
Income of the company while it's growing,
Yeah.
which fuels us throwing more resources at it.
Yeah.
Because we're partners, right?
Yeah.
What we don't have though is what all the private equity guys have. You know, the typical business will get to 10 or 12 or 15. Then they'll access either debt or private equity to hire executives to come in and help grow the business and buy systems. And the first couple rounds of that never work because they don't know how to do it. And then the private equity guys take that asset. So the private equity guy will buy 30% of your business.
This is when the guy tries to go on Shark Tank.
That's right. Well, Shark Tank would be for startup guys.
Yeah, right.
But the private equity guys you'll come in and say, I want growth capital. They'll give it to you. What they don't tell you is, yeah, we're only buying a third of your business, but we get a guaranteed 18 to 22% per year on our money. It's called a ratchet or cram down. If you don't hit your valuations, we get our money before you get anything. The average business owner is so excited to finally get this cash to do something. 85% of the time, they don't get anything out of the deal. They end up spinning it. The private equity
They end up
takes it,
working for the devil.
and then they go start another business because they're so pissed off. That
Yeah.
happened to me in my first company.